This episode today is episode air date by number 25 and production number 26. And it's called The Devil in the Dark.
The Devil in the Dark. And
Your
it's brought
favorite-
to you by Starbase 11.
Brought to you by Bang Bang, the sweetest little automatic. And directed by Joseph Pevney. Air date March 9th, 1967. And before this is over, we're going to give it a Doug score. No, we're going to have to give it a rating.
Exactly. So we'll give it a rating. So, right. It's Devil in the Dark, Season 1, Episode 25, as Wikipedia states that it was aired.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'd like to do, Bruce, if you don't oppose this idea, is because you and I had a lot of the same stuff. I noticed that you kicked it off right away with the flat floor, the walls, your notes here were
oh yes, kind of gives
terrible flaws in the story. So I just would really like to get those out of the way and just bring them up. And I like that you put it like almost first. You got the matte painting on, which was a terrible matte painting. I get that. I think the matte paintings aren't the same that I'm seeing. Maybe they modified them a bit, but you're right. The matte paintings aren't that great.
In 2006, they did some awesome stuff, and they added a little person down there that's actually moving instead of.
I think there's one, walking in the door or something, right?
Right,
yeah.
and in the old version, there isn't. There's just a few lights that are, let's call it twinkling. The elevator lights are going blink, blink, blink from level 7 all the way down to 1, just in case someone really is going frame by frame and counting those.
So so if you guys are watching the original as Bruce is watching, then you're going to see those nuances, and I'm kind of watching the remastered versions. So we are watching two separate versions. But the terrible flaws in the story. Can I bring those up real quick, Bruce?
Please, just get it out in the open. I mean,
I
this
think
is a very popular episode, but there's a problem with this.
There's some big problems, and I agree with you 100%. It's kind of funny. I put mine interdispersed, but I think if we get them out now, then we can talk more about the story and what's going on, because we know that these are blaring.
Yes.
This is a mining colony, and the floor is flat as any warehouse you can make it with a concrete floor.
Elephant in the room.
Yes, and these guys are amazing miners, and except that they don't do it to the walls. They just got the floor just flat and level. It is a gorgeous floor.
If you could let those go like we just did, we talked about them. Okay, fine. How is this in the top 20 episodes? How? Because
this is a top 20. I'll tell you how later. Because I was wondering about that. I said, how could this be? Because I told you before, I kind of liked the episode, remember?
Mm-hmm.
There was something about it. Captain Kirk's dad died and he came back, and maybe I got that feeling of a little bit extra. But I think there's something more to it that was going on. But we'll get to that. So then Bruce has his, we got the garage floor, and we got that smoothness. We've covered that. The one guy and he's like, hey, man, really, I just don't want to stay here alone.
You got this. You got this.
Yeah, you got this. We'll be back. Any of you guys like him? Nah, we don't like him. It's okay. And then of course he's a pile of dust. And what did you think about his acting? I mean, you do have a few little bit of things of his acting there where he's getting attacked.
Oh,
I'm not sure why he doesn't fire out on the creature. I just don't know why. I mean,
because it could be like a man trap thing where the salt vampire was able to control you. These guys are freaked out and are shocked. They're miners. They're miners, not miners. They're miners, not.
No.
They're miners, not security people, I would imagine. So they're not trained for this, being shocked, and it could be that the being has some sort of quick power like the man-trapped animal.
Maybe. I'll give you that. Okay, I'm not going to go there. Maybe I'll give you 60% of that.
Okay. Don't push too much on that idea. But that's why does he freak out? Because he's suddenly there.
I'll give you that in your explanation. I don't know that I'm going to accept that much. But
Yes.
I do give you that. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes, totally. I've tried to explain it away, and that's why I kind of broke down that scene. I wanted to see how they do that. They do a long shot, he turns slightly, then they do a mid shot, he turns some more, he comes around, and then he reacts quizzically, what the hell am I seeing? And then he was probably told to freak out. And this thing has already grown in size. Apparently it can hop up 6 inches, right? So it jumped up and squirted him.
Oh, is that what you think, that it grew in size? I was thinking that it jumped at him like a dog attacking him, because on the 24126, I wondered about that shot too, because it looks like, I mean, this guy's got to be 5'10" roughly, and it's just below his head.
And it comes up in the shot.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
later on, the second guy that gets it, it also comes up in the shot.
What do you think about their the silicone nodule? But more, what catches my eye more on 51526 is not the nodule as much as these incredible jumpsuits that they're wearing. They are unbelievable, and I think whoever picked these miner suits should be congratulated. This was an
Safety first.
safety first. There you go.
Neon yellow. Come on. Great.
Well, then you got that
Lamborghini colors.
incredible purple that comes in later for the
Well,
fascist conscious miners.
It's the 60s.
It is the 60s. Okay, so there you go. You've got the map on the left there, the 51922. The map I'm talking about. Erica, put the shot of this in there because I have no idea. I love the way everyone's facing the camera. They're looking at the thing, but I'm like, how can they see it at that angle, right? Even now they're talking.
They can't.
They can't. Even now they're talking about TVs, and if you're at a 45-degree angle to the TV, you can't see it, right? Even now, it's like when they're reviewing TVs. Well, this one, you can see it at a better angle. This one's a flat chart. And like, I think Kirk might even be standing behind it at first. It's like, yeah.
Oh, yes. But they have to act like they can see it. I mean.
Yeah. Can you see that thing? I can't. So I told you about my little acting stint when I was in Idaho, right? So
Yeah.
I did Fiddler, and there was one guy, he had his back to the door, and it's when the Russians come in, and Fiddler, we're Jewish community, right? But the Russians are coming in and kind of pushing the Jews away, resettling them constantly, kind of like we did, or early on with the American Indian. And so they're walking in the door, and this one guy's line was, "Here they are," except his back was to the door. So since I had a clear shot of the door, I was the one that stole this line, and I said, "Oh, there they are." And he got so upset with me for taking his line. But this is what it kind of reminded. Now, I can see that Spock can clearly see the chart. And the other guys, maybe not so much. One thing. So Spock does pick up the thing. And when Ken Lynch's character, Vanderberg, he says, I think, bone and teeth, like an acid bath, right? They only found bone, or he's saying it was just bone and teeth like an acid bath. Right?
Well, there are only fragments of bone and teeth left, but the plant's physician agrees with me. A chemical corrosion. Almost as if he'd been thrown into a vat of extremely corrosive.
Okay, so I put acid bath. That's what I extracted from it. So.
Yep. Strong enough to eat machinery, strong enough to eat anything else, any way you can think of. Mr. Spock.
Yeah, Mr. Spock. So I don't think that you get a shot of Spock being incredibly insightful. I would like to see that, though. I think we need to put the clip up where Spock walks up to the chart and he just knows what everything is. And this is then that. This was a first one, and that's a second attack, and this was a third attack. And I'm like, how the heck did he find that out? I don't know.
He watched and listened to the log files from before he beamed down, and then he matched those reports to the obvious chamber locations, how fast people can move and what time of day it was. Yeah. He's
okay. So here's, I did say I'm going to stop complaining about this episode, right?
Yeah.
I did say that earlier. That we got it out of.
Did say out of the way, over with.
I lied.
What?
Yeah. There's one other thing that really bugs me. Bugs me a lot. So they're tunneling in. They're going down, yes. And then all of a sudden they're finding all these silicone nodules, right? And they're perfectly round, the same size, perfectly spherical, perfectly made. They don't think this is anything to that. They just like, these things are laying around everywhere. These balls.
But doesn't Spock say an oddity to say the least? He was trying to get some more information.
Spock said that. But the miners who are trained to find elements, rare elements and rare materials and
they said
minerals.
Trace elements. They said it's silicon and some trace elements, not worth much. They analyzed it already when they discovered them the first time, right?
Bruce, look at those things.
Yeah. What?
Look at 52101.
Yeah.
Don't look at the monkey's face. Look at the look at the nodule. It's perfectly round. It's purple. They're all the same size. They're all the same. I mean, and if you look at them, by the way, when they're in the tunnel later on and they're all cracked open like an egg, how could they be a solid formed silicone nodule if those things are breaking open and they're finding them like broken open eggs? It doesn't make any sense.
By calling them nodules, they implied that they were hollow in nature.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, all right. So thank you. See, Bruce clears out another one, another mystery solved.
But why are they the same color / size / composition as those 3 round objects that are in engineering bay around the engineering console that's in the middle of engineering? So engineering, Scotty's new Scotty does he not get that till second season?
Life is silicone. They're trying to figure it out. He picks up that ball. I think you jumped ahead after that on your notes here, but he picks up the ball on the thing, and because he's really fascinated by it, and he's like, life is silicone. And I go, yes, oh yes, of course, it's a microchip.
Did they have that back then? They had vacuum tube culture is what they had.
They beamed, and I want to talk about this. I guess because I mentioned Japan already, and my ex-wife is Japanese, or is Japanese.
Flesh it out. Yeah. Tell me your
thoughts. So they're in whatever his name is,
Vandenberg, isn't it?
Vandenberg office.
Air Force Base.
They have their cups that they beamed down from the Enterprise with them. They have their little styrofoam cups that are painted purple, and they're drinking their drink on.
It's Starfleet issue.
Starfleet issue, and I think that later on, I think that Desilu Studios and Star Trek did get sued because of the paint that they used on there was like the paint they used on the
walls in the episode where
balls, but the Wizard of Oz, the Tin Man, how he couldn't handle. Buddy Epson, he couldn't handle the paint.
Lead or
whatever. So they didn't care back then. They're like, Now I'm just making that up. I just totally made that up. I don't know about the paint on the cups, but it just
they took styrofoam cups and they painted them.
They painted them.
That's gonna last.
The Horta
the Pergium reactor. Did I get that right? The pump that circulates air, so that they can survive down there. Took a pump.
He took a pump, which I believe it was.
A PK. I got it down here. PK. Oh yeah, PXK. I haven't seen a PXK in 20 years. I hope I got that right.
Yeah. So, and you got him jumping up. I think it's more like a foot. You said 6 inches. That Horta did to get into that wall there that you have at 92615.
Yeah.
It's a little, well, maybe it is 6 inches. I can't really tell.
There's a lot of smoke, but that was the least smoke frame that I could get. And then Kirk or Spock says, don't touch that. It still could be corrosive. And then when the guy says, get in here, he kind of pauses and then figures how is he going to crawl through that hole without touching anything. But yeah, I detest that hole. It's up in there.
It's odd, it's odd, but so, and then he says it's powerfully corrosive, like we said. So, but what I did like was There's nothing more dangerous than a wounded animal.
Yes.
Right? William Shatner says this. There's nothing, because they wounded the Horta.
Yes.
There's nothing more dangerous. And I said, or a woman scorned, or a mama that's hurt and she's defending her little nodules. Those are the things.
I think those are the top three. Yeah.
That's it. You got to watch out. If you're going to be with that stuff, don't mess with the mama Horta.
Who was firing? Who actually hit and knocked off a piece? It
was after,
or were they both hitting it?
I think they both hit it. Right? They were both firing at it. But also, Spock had said, I can make this to where it will affect silicone. Remember?
I'm surprised he was so quick to. Can't we corral the creature, take care of it, and he's always the one not to use force, and here he just starts blasting.
Well, and that too, I think what it was lending itself to was everything he said. If you look at your notes and the script, it's pretty much to protect the captain. Like, don't put yourself in harm's way. The Horta's dangerous. Kill the Horta now. It's going to attack you. It's killed all these other people. So every time he's saying kill it, he's referring to whether or not, and in my opinion, this is my opinion only.
Okay.
It's a choice about whether it's Captain Kirk's life or the Horta's life. And so he's basically, every time it comes to that, because William Shatner or Captain Kirk says, look, you go guard the pump, I got to do this. And he goes, no, Captain, why do I need to go guard the pump? There's no need for me there. And William Shatner's going, well, it's going to be one of us, and I'd rather give my life rather than Spock, Mr. Spock's life, right? So I think that's what
you have a point there. He may have just recently reread the rules and regulations of Starfleet and noticed that a second in command he kind of needs to look out for.
Well, that's every time he's talking to him, when he's like, hey, stay away, or hey, I noticed this thing's here, and Captain Kirk goes, it's right in front of me. He goes, oh, kill it now. Kill it. Which, Spock is supposed to be kind of flat emotion. And he's not here. He's actually emoting like, just kill it now. It's a bug, kill it. So
kills bugs dead.
I don't know why I wrote this note here. The Horta is ruthless, and I think the Horta kind of was
ruthless.
Yeah.
The Horta. There's some missing stuff from the script. There are things that aren't explained that are in the script. I was reading about the Horta does not turn and run when Kirk is there. How does the Horta know? The Horta trapped Kirk there so that they could meet. How does the Horta know not to turn? Well, it's doing it primarily to exclusively protect the kids, the children.
Yeah.
But in the script, I believe I read that they wrote how the Horta knew. The Horta was watching and noticed that Kirk gave orders and other people obeyed him. Therefore, he was top of the food chain. He was the person she needed to go after.
I love that you said that, and I wish they would have put that in there, because I wondered about that a lot. Why did the Horta, instead of attacking him like he did everyone else, the Horta knocks the wall down to get him trapped in that little spot? I was
why him? Right?
Yeah, exactly. Because
he has.
No, I love that you explained that. That's
I didn't come up with. I read it in this fabulous book, and it's like, some elements which could have been very effective were either not filmed or not included in the final edit. In the script, it is clear that the Horta is watching the humans, especially Kirk and Spock. It recognizes Kirk is in command by the way he points and speaks to other humans who nod and appear to comply with his wishes. The Horta, therefore, targets Kirk and arranges for the cave-in that forces the leader of the humans to a showdown. Also made clear in the script is the creature quickly learns that Spock's tricorder is not its friend, and that the device can somehow detect when it is hiding nearby. When the creature hears the tricorder sound, it scurries away. The only story element of this type that made it into the episode was when the Horta, after being injured, knows the phaser is its enemy and cowers each time Kirk points the weapon in its direction. But in the filmed episode, it is not made clear why the Horta does not flee at this moment. In the script, however, tells us explicitly, the Horta holds its ground, facing Kirk and his phaser, risking further injury and perhaps death to protect its eggs.
I think that's beautiful. I really do. And I honestly think that because you were asking, I was saying to myself, why do I like this episode so much, right? Yes. There are all these obviously glaring, awful parts, like the floor, the this and the that, the one person guarding and the Horta just attacking, it's just like, and then the nodules to me that look like they're obviously something, they're not like a mineral or crystal or something that naturally grows. It looks to me like they are something that would be something. And I would, if I was a miner, I'd said, hey, this is, maybe we should have what do they call that? Where you throw balls at each other, and if you catch it, the other person's out. If it hits you and bounces off, you're out. They made you
dodgeball, Dogecoin.
The most cool game that they ever invented for kids. Whoever wrote that hated kids. They go, let them kill themselves. Anyway, I would say, hey, let's go play some dodgeball. No, but what I really got out of this, and I put it right here because, well, first of all, Spock, like I said, kill the Horde and stuff like that, but he's going, I shall quicken my pace. I just love that. Instead of saying, I'll be there in a second, I'm going to run, I shall quicken my pace. It's beautiful, right? But I think that what I started getting was when they engaged with the Horta, Captain Kirk somehow gets, this is not a dangerous thing the way we're looking at it as a dangerous thing. There's something going on here. I kind of need to figure it out. And you see all this compassion. You see the compassion of Spock, Mr. Spock for Captain Kirk. You see Captain Kirk for the Horta. You see even Dr. Bones, McCoy. McCoy, when he comes down, he goes, what are you talking about? It's a piece of rock. I can't heal. And then he gets pretty excited about it. So I think that compassion was kind of what touched me. And I think really, I think it did come a little bit from, because I was always wondering, why did I like this? Mm-hmm. And I think it's all the compassion. And I do think that William Shatner, because of his father's death, I think he brought a little bit more to me, in my opinion.
This episode was written by Gene Coon, and he brought us fabulous things like Federation, Prime Directive, Klingons. He also brought a change in this episode from, let's say, Mantrap view of find that sucker, find that creature, and kill the damn thing, to wait a minute, as in maybe more Gene Roddenberry's original idea, I would have wait a minute, question stuff. These are aliens, these are creatures, these are not just monsters, although they use the word monster in the episode, but there's a shift. There's a shift in how Star Trek looks at stuff now. With this
exactly, there is a definite shift. And even when the mob is coming in, I think he said they would kill the mob, didn't they, or something? I mean, I think they said something to the mob, to the miners about,
They're getting ugly, they said.
Yeah, they're getting ugly, but I think when they're coming in and Captain Kirk says, just don't hurt it, or something like that. There's that massive onslaught of people that, obviously are trying. Anyway, I think that's what I got out of it. I think that, and also the amazing acting that these guys do. Honest to God, I look at this, and when Leonard Nimoy was touching the Horta, that there's a guy in there, and at that moment, there's no guy in there. It's just this costume that's laying on the floor, and they're zeroing in on Spock and him. The pain, and I'm like, wow, that is. And William Shatner does the same thing when he's showing his concern for the Horta and stuff like that. Look at his face. I mean, I should have put the timestamp down. But an amazing, these guys they really were good actors, I think. I really think that. And I'm not just saying that. I think they were very good actors, and they took their craft very seriously, as people say.
Right. Two ways to look at that. It's overacted, right? And what the heck is going on? Or, no, they're really doing good. I appreciate you mentioning all those things, but I feel really, really embarrassed or stupid because the things I've been talking about that you and I are agreeing on, how the Horta reacts, these nice things we're talking about right now, I have either read about or you have said something about it, and I haven't. It's like I feel like Gilligan. I don't have any thoughts of my own. It's like, oh, that sounds good. Oh, that sounds good. You know, I read something. Oh, that sounds good. So I feel kind of stupid because I watched this episode in the past as just an episode.
Huh.
Now that you mentioned these things, and me reading what I just parroted back to you, I found stuff out. This is not what I'm thinking, and I can feel kind of dumb. But now it has much more. The episode has a little bit more meaning, a little more depth. After we had discussed this, it was great that we talked about this.
It's kind of rich in a way, right? I mean, I think the episode was moving toward this, and this is always kind of the part of the episode that touched me. And they tried to throw a little bit of humor in there. The humor, and they kind of do the when they do the humor, right? In this episode, like they want to make sure that people get we're being a little light right here. Right. But I think that this was, you know, like I said, 44 minutes, they're coming, and all the red shirts turn away and all the guys beat the hell out of them. I just think, you know, these guys are just funny. There are little funny episodes in here too, but I think it is rich. I think that there was a nice little compassion. I think this is about compassion, and you're right. It is a switch of, hey, let's kill it. Let's kill it. Yeah. Yeah,
monsters. It's not monsters. Take a different point of view and wait a minute. These are creatures.
These are creatures. And then of course they help each other out, right? The Hortas are helping the miners are helping the Hortas, and it all works out pretty well.
I read that they said Stan Robertson, I think that's the guy's name at NBC, that kind of has to approve the draft to make it go to teleplay or whatever. This was kind of his ideal episode. He was happy about this. We've got creatures and we've got fighting and we've got a story. I mean, the good part there about, you know, the twist.
Yeah. So, and then I don't know, the ending part was insignificant to me, so I should have probably put more in after that. But that's kind of where I kind of ended my notes, is just right there. I know they get back to the bridge and there's like a couple jokes.
This episode, you know, I can't like this episode because it's not a bottle show. It's self-contained on the stage, but not on the ship. It's not that kind of. It has the least amount of footage of stuff on the ship, except for All Our Yesterdays. I think that's a third season episode with Zarabeth and Sai Tooth.
So I know there was an episode, and we already covered it, called Shore Leave, right?
Yeah.
And there really is in the Navy, you get shore leave, right? You know that. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
And so I could imagine you in the Navy on a ship, and they go, okay, shore leave. And you go, what? You would be like the episode, I don't know if we already
Scotty,
saw it.
Tribbles.
Scotty, yes.
He says, and you're confined to quarters. Oh, great. I can catch up on my technical journals, right? That's exactly me.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. People say, oh, it's nice outside. How do you like I hate those conversations. No, I can get HD versions of outside on my computer screen. What the heck do I need to go out and see it in HD in real life? Oh my God.
Go to Europe. I can watch it on the Travel Channel. What are you talking about? Yeah.
Yeah. Technical journals at home. Oh gosh. Scotty is the geek of yesteryear, right?
Yeah.
Original geek.
Well, there you have it. So what did you think? What's your unless you want to add something that we haven't talked about in this thing?
I'm going to look at my notes real quick, but I want to make clear that this is not an Enterprise bottle show, and therefore it rates low for me. Because of that, I rather like, them on the ship, and they were hardly there.
Right.
I rate it a little higher now after we've discussed it. Okay, so I was gonna say for rating, I better look at my notes before somewhere between 65 and 75 when I started, and then after talking with you about some of these things that I had read about, and then now that's kind of congealing in my mind. I might push it towards the 75 and leave it there and not go lower.
Great.
So it would be higher than I expected, because the problems and the fact that it was not enough enterprise made it low for me.
Yeah.
Just me. But now I'll give it. You made some.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we do have to say something here. A blemish free. We got a picture of a communicator there that's blemish free.
That's right. That is a blemish free.
And if you notice, he's holding the lid open with his thumb. So I'm suspecting that it might be the 135 degree. I'm counting from the backside where it flips over and it flips too far. So he's just holding it with his thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's I have nothing. I don't think I have anything else. I'm going to call it 75.
75. You know, I almost would agree with you, but I'm going to give it higher. I'm going to say 85, and I'll tell you why. Because if I could set all that stuff aside, which if I mix it in, it's going to go lower. Honestly, if I say the floors, the guys, they're just.
But we got rid of that.
Well, we kind of got rid of that, so I'm gonna go 85, just because I love the compassion of the story. I love.
Yes.
I do like these guys as actors. Honest to God, I think they're really good actors. And I like that you said Spock was overacting, because I kind of got that too. You know, like, is he overacting or is he just acting? You know, so.
No, I'm saying you could take it either way. Someone could look at that and say, he's overdoing that. What's with all the. No, I don't think that. Well, did I think that when I was younger? I don't know. Yeah, I think it's good.
Well, because here's why I'm going to say I think it was good acting, because what he's saying is the Horta is the last of its kind, basically, right? If this Horta dies, and that's why I'm glad you said it captured Captain Kirk to kind of get a point across to him to try to communicate and say, hey, there's something going on here. Let's look at this, right? He couldn't communicate with these miners the whole time, or the Horta couldn't. The Horta's going to communicate with someone that he thinks he can communicate, which is with Kirk. And so you added that extra dynamic to the story that I loved just now. That really was a great key point in the story for me, because I was missing that. But since you said, well, they cut it out. So the Horta's trying to communicate. Spock is like saying, look, I'm the last one, and if you kill all these eggs that we have, there's no more. And if you really look at that as a culture or as something, it is a tragedy, right? And it could be a very deep and disturbing tragedy. And so I think that, given that, I think Spock acted it out as much as that tragedy would be. And I think maybe maybe Leonard Nimoy kind of got that about it. Like, this is it, man. This is the last, and there's no more.
Yes.
We're done. You know, and I do like that about this. So I think his acting was, I would, because I could go that way too. Because it was a lot, and it's uncomfortable to watch him act it out. But I think in a way it was good to be uncomfortable at that moment, for me.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
I love it.
So 85. I'll give it an 85. I set all this stuff aside. I'm going to give it an 85.
I am going to go in here real quick and change those zeros to 85 before he changes his mind and says, dagger of the mind.
No. If I look at them picking up the Horta part with that's incredibly toxic or caustic, I would definitely take it almost down to zero.
It picks it up. And that body probably secretes anywhere it wants to on the outside. I'm guessing it could be that there's jets or certain areas, and this isn't it. But they just reached for it, picked it up. He's got his fingertips underneath on the inside. Okay, I can give him that. The inside isn't caustic, but he's got his thumbs over the top. That outside's got to be. And then Kirk goes, oh, but did you notice that while Kirk is holding it, the piece is subtly breathing?
I kind of noticed that, yeah.
It was going up and down, so they had obviously hoses and a bubble, and a pump. Yeah.
So I just brought it down to a 45. Thanks, Bruce.
Yeah. Because of no.
Keep talking. The flat fours, 40. The poor guy, poor Smitter.
Smitter you're dead.
I never liked him. No, yeah, but I really, I do have to set that aside for this one. And honestly, if they would have taken the tack that you're saying and really kind of focused on the Horta kind of watching that, I don't think the director knew how to do that. But God, wouldn't it have been a great episode if they could have done that and took that other stuff out?
I think they could have given point of view, right? Yeah. Because remember, Kirk says, we're being watched, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they could have, whether the Horta sees through the rock or not, they could have had that camera off there looking at them.
Yeah.
You would know it can see besides them saying, and then it would maybe it went silent and the Horta saw Kirk speaking and the other people moving. I don't know.
Well, the Horta could definitely sense. I mean, he's tunneling to the rock all the time, right? So he has to kind of know where he's going. The Horta, right? You got it.
It's a marvelous. What does Spock say? Marvelously, not creative. What's he say about him? Noticed his ears and then said.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
That is another the funny episode. Yeah, that's when they're back on the bridge. Insightful, maybe.
He was that was not the word. Give me another word that they were there. Ears. Well, we're gonna say. Did he say anything?
Yeah, ears. Yeah.
That will get me close. Yes. Did she happen to make any comment about those ears? Not specifically, but I did get the distinct impression she found them the most attractive human characteristic of all. I didn't have the heart to tell her that. I have. She really liked those ears. Captain, the Horta is a remarkably intelligent and sensitive creature with impeccable taste. Because she proved of you. Really, Captain, my modesty does not bear close examination, Mr. Spock. I suspect you're becoming more and more human all the time. He almost says human.
Yeah, so there's your levity. They always try to throw the levity in the Star Trek episodes, which I think is a nice little point.
It's okay. You stick around to watch that. Maybe you'll watch the commercial at the end that sells palm olive or something.
Yeah. Hey, he's going to say something witty at the end. I wonder who wrote all the witticisms, though. Someone did that because they're actually pretty good. So I know someone said that they came up with the banter between Doctor McCoy and Spock. So that was someone's idea to start that. Yeah. I think they did it. I think someone wrote it in once, and then they thought it pretty much worked, so they started throwing that in there. Yeah.
And it works with all three. All three of them make the perfect person, right?
Yeah.
Kirk is commanding, and Spock is logical, and McCoy is not. I mean, all of those three things together.
Well, we know what McCoy is not. What am I, a bricklayer?
He's not a bricklayer. He's not a doctor. I don't know what he. No, wait, he is a doctor.
All right, well, cool. Yeah, I think this is a good episode. I'm glad we covered it. I'm looking forward to the next one. We got our purple goats.
Oh, wait, let's check to see what that is. I'm going to the episode list. I put the score into this one for the notes. I'm going to the episode list itself, going down to Devil. Let's go see what we got there. Devil in the Dark. Well, after that, apparently, hey, episode 26. Great. Let's call it a day. Episode 26 is the Green Goats. Cindy Lauper loves green drugs. Cindy Lauper loves green drugs. Errand of Mercy. Directed by John Newland. Have no clue about this guy. He must have just done one. And it's written once again by Gene L. Coon. And you know what? We got a problem here. At this point, this is March, but in December, I think they're running out of episodes because Paramount, or is it NBC? I don't know how the money stuff works. They, probably NBC, they say, hey, we want 26 episodes. And they've bought 26 episodes and been told to go ahead with those 26. And now they're kind of running out. On their own, they've got to decide what they're to do, because they're hoping that what NBC will do is they'll option or, order another 3 or 4 episodes. Will that happen? but they have to be worrying in the background once they say, yep, you got the money for the last 4 episodes for the 30 in a season, let's call it a good one.
Right. Uh-huh.
That they actually have something sitting in the wings ready to go. So I think Gene L. Coon worked on this one, Devil in the Dark, and Errand of Mercy, and they had these other ones like City on the Edge of Forever. They've been probably working a long time on that, and it was probably nowhere near. And then they say, here's the money. And then it's like, I'm sure that was a problem. So, but they didn't get all 4 episodes. They were told they got 4, and then they cut it back. NBC cut it back to 3. I hope I understand this thing. And so that's how we got our 29 episodes for the first season.
I see. Now, well,
there's 3 more is what I'm saying. The one we're going to watch, Errand of Mercy, is the 4th to the last. This is kind of wrapping up, and they don't know what at this point whether they got more episodes coming.
I like Errand of Mercy. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to rate it high. I told you a muck time, I'm going to rate it very high.
Well, just because of green goats, and the guy knows how to walk at the right speed while he's walking sideways.
He's not walking at the right speed. He misses it. He tries to hold his mark. He can't get it.
Yeah.
And I know what he's trying to say. Hurry up with your lines. You know, he just wanted to tell Leonard Nimoy, well, yeah, come on. Yeah. Because he was a very accomplished actor. So, you know.
Oh, yeah. Those guys look like it. Stage stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
They weren't kids.
No, they weren't kids. They were very accomplished.
They acted like they were millennia old and no corporeal body, and right?
They did, right?
Right.
They did.
Yeah, they needed those kind of characters. Yeah, I look forward to Errand of Mercy because I haven't seen it in a while, and I bet that Errand of Mercy is going to be like that Arena episode. There's going to be a ton of stuff in there, and the episode is going to be longer than it really is. Yeah.
I think so too. Because is this where we're introduced to, or we're already introduced to is it the Klingons in this one? Who is it in this?
This is Klingons. I think we learned about Romulans, in Balance of Terror, right? And this is where Gene L. Coon gives us Klingons. I'm pretty sure. I don't think there's Klingons before this. No.
I don't think so. So we got the Klingons who don't look like the Klingons.
Hey, but we don't talk about that.
Oh.
Why there's bumps and no bumps.
Hey, I am totally mistaken. All right, this was wonderful. Thank you very much. I think this was a really great episode to cover, and I enjoyed it tonight.
Oh yeah, I loved your notes. I'm glad you referred to your notes a lot and read them out loud, and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Really good.
All right. Have a good night, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I think I can kind of do it. There we go. Oh, you said keep the fingers open, right? The thumbs open.
Yeah, I think the thumb open. Yeah. That's it.
Good night, man.
What I know. Good night. Yeah. Leave meeting. Okay, I'll try that.
Hello, Bruce. How are you tonight?
Did you?
Yes, Bruce.
Did you watch?
Please introduce today's episodes.
The Devil in the Dark.
The Devil in the Dark. And it's brought to you by Starbase 11.